All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game. My name is KENNIESPARKZ Double Hen. How are you doing today? Morning, afternoon, evening, and night, wherever you listen to us from. Don't forget you're tuned to Sparks Global. And my name is KENNIESPARKZ Double Hen. And of course, it's immigration talk with KENNIESPARKZ again today. And as always, that we all out to make sure that you get informed and educated about everything that has to do with immigration rules. And then thanks to our friend who's here, Mr. Aku, who's actually been giving us more information about this. And I think you all has actually been enjoying it. Thank you very much for interacting with it, embracing it, and just making sure that everything sounds cool. Today we'll be talking about something very, very important to you, Lord, and that's talking about asylum. But before we go deep into it, we delve deep into it, let us also welcome our guest today. Welcome on board, sir, today. How are you doing? And thank you for coming to the show today again. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. It's my pleasure being here.
Yeah, it's really nice. From the last time we had a conversation, it was mind blowing. That's mind blowing because you can see that people are actually interacting with it. And thank you very much for availing us your time to be here to talk about immigration rules. So for those of you that are actually just joining us for the very first time, don't forget we've actually talked about naturalization in the UK. Those things that can actually hinder you from becoming naturalized in the UK. We've talked about leave to remain outside the rule in the United Kingdom, and of course we've talked about independent leave to remain. I mean, it's a lot of information that you can actually get, in all fairness. And today we'll be talking about asylum. Asylum, there are some myths and some things that people always believe when it comes to asylum. So we will be diffusing it and demystifying it today. So just stay back and don't go anywhere yet. All right, let's get into it straight up. Sir, what is asylum?
Yeah, the concept of asylum is something that has a very long history.
Okay.
Yeah, it started long before the modern day civilization, and it's more or less it has a religious connotation where people tend to run away from place of harm to other person's jurisdiction for protection.
Okay.
And it's more like helping someone. We've seen that in the Bible where people escape to meet other persons. Please hide me.
Yeah.
What am I hiding you from? Someone wants to kill me. From danger. We've seen David display that. Yeah. We've seen Rahab hide the children of God when they were to be destroyed. And we've seen a host of them. We've seen Noah hide the angel from the predator, from the sexual predators of the time. So all these things are asylum. So the concept of asylum did not emanate from 1948 as presented. It started long ago from the religious side of the story. It has religious connotations, and all these things happening is more or less a continuation of what had always been, but this time around with emphasis on border control.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. As you giving the definition of asylum, and you talk about the fact that it has to do with religious, I wanted to ask what was it all about. Thank you very much for actually expatiating more on this. I mean, it's funny. You see, I mean, people really don't know asylum. We've just related it to what happened in the Bible. I mean, far back before the stated time that it was set to have started. I mean, it's really, 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 really amazing how you've actually been able to link it. And I think also actually knowing you're taking that down. Another thing I want to just quickly ask is asylum is border control, people getting help, seeking help from other country for protection against threats and all of the things that actually pose a disturbance to their peace. So who are those eligible to seek asylum?
Okay. Yeah, to state or to qualify for an asylum grant, there is a need to have a robust understanding of what asylum is.
Okay.
Asylum is what I call a form of protection which allows an individual to remain in a third-party country or state instead of being removed because the person involved fears for his or her life.
Okay.
From his or her own original country. So all those factors that make you feel, if I go back, I may not survive. If I go back, I will be incarcerated. If I go back, my freedom will be infringed upon. When you put up all those arguments in a third-party country, irrespective of how you came in, whether legally or illegally, you are qualified for asylum.
So now you're making reference to third-party countries. So what does it for those people that, for the sake of the viewers at home, what does this third-party country? Who had the third-party countries?
A third-party country to an asylum seeker is a country where you want to seek refuge.
Okay.
It's a third-party country. Nigeria is a third-party country to some persons.
Okay.
That seek refuge in Nigeria.
Okay.
In the time past, some persons will leave their country, will vacate from their country because of war.
And seek refuge in Nigeria.
Nigeria becomes a third-party country. And by convention, by Universal Declaration of Human Rights Convention, Nigeria is a signatory to that declaration. So people can come to Nigeria to seek asylum. Okay. So Nigeria becomes a third-party country in that concept. So like as it is now in UK, bring everything home to UK where we are all resident. UK is a third-party country to millions of persons who seems to be running from certain harm from where they are coming from. Okay, so just to quote you, thank you very much for actually giving us enlightenment into what a third-party country is. However, what are those things, if I can ask you, what are those things that qualifies a country to be a third-party country? I mean, what qualifies a country for people to wanting to seek a refuge in that country? Now, you did mention that Nigeria at a point in time, people could actually come to seek asylum. I believe there is something that is in place in Nigeria that would make people want to go. In South Africa, people will seek refuge in South Africa, Ghana, and all the African countries. What are those things that those countries have that the people, the country those people are coming from doesn't have? I don't know if you actually get what I'm trying to say. Essentially, what qualifies a country to give shelter, essentially, is peace. Okay. The country must be peaceful. You can't be running away from harm and run into another harm. So it's not going to be from pan to fire. Yeah. Okay. So the country must have a peaceful future. The country must be welcoming, and the country must not be a hostile country. I doubt if Nigeria is actually one of those countries now because of the terrorism in Nigeria at the moment, and all the African countries as well. Yes, Nigeria is still a home to a lot of refugees, asylum seekers. Yes, because the terrorism and a pocket of vices that's currently associated with Nigeria does not affect all regions in Nigeria. That's correct. We still have a reasonable regional areas that are relatively peaceful, where people have stayed for decades and they've had no issues to have any cause for alarm. So Nigeria can still be seen as a safe haven to a lot of persons. You can't compare Nigeria to Sudan. You can't compare Nigeria to Somalia. You can't compare Nigeria to a lot of countries with a lot of political upheavals in the Central Republic of Africa.
Which is correct.
So Nigeria still remains a safe haven when we talk about Africa.
Okay, so Nigerians, wherever you are listening to us from, it's a good news to let you know that your country, our country, the giant of Africa still remains a refuge. I mean, a refuge to some other African countries or other places that are actually taking refuge in Nigeria at the moment. Thank you very much, Mr. Promise, for these informations as well. Just quickly, because of our time, and definitely know tonight is going to be very brief. I mean, today, this episode is just going to be very brief because we're just going to talk briefly on this asylum thing. And if you have any questions, just make sure you drop in the comment box, and we would be able to just answer it subsequent times when we come to your view again. Okay, so now I know you've actually just mentioned those people that might be eligible, but I want you to state it in clear terms. Those that are eligible to seek a refuge, to seek refuge or asylum in another country, knowing fully well, I'm still going to ask the question of the differences. I mean, the difference between seeking a refugee and a person and an asylum seeker, so to say. So, who are those people that? Let's take it this way. So, who are those people that are actually eligible to seek asylum in the country?
Any person who perceives that his or her life or freedom is under threat is qualified to seek asylum in the country. For example, also another person that stand qualified is a person who is deemed in the eyes of the law to be an object of trafficking, where people traffic people here and there. There are laws against human trafficking.
Okay.
So any persons that happen to be victims of human trafficking is eligible and stands eligible to apply for asylum. That's protection from such predators.
Okay.
So, and a person whose country is being ravaged by war, such people can seek refuge in other countries just to have their lives safe. Just like what you have in Ukraine. You have a UK open their door and ask Ukraine to troop in. For refugee. Okay. Now, we also have a situation where we have a pocket of terrorist activities in the north, in Nigeria. We have a pocket of IPOP, what we call insurgencies in some areas in Nigeria. Where your life is directly affected, you can seek asylum either while you are in Nigeria or while you are out of Nigeria. You can seek asylum from everywhere. So once you know that your right, your human right, granted unto you under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights 1948 is about to be infringed or is being infringed upon, you can seek asylum. That if it is legal, it is legit, you are allowed to do so.
All right. Thank you very much for that as well. You know, one thing that's very, very important is when you don't know what belongs to you, what rightfully belongs to you, it becomes difficult for you to actually fight for it, isn't it? So very important to all our listeners and our audience today. Just to let you know that you need to know what your right is, what your rights are, so that when they are being infringed on, you can actually seek help. So obviously, asylum is also about seeking help for your life. I want to believe
even for sick people.
For sick people as well.
Sick people seek asylum because you have a terrible sickness, terminal disease, you have mental issues, you seek asylum. Persons, identity, people with identity crisis, LGBT, they seek asylum. Because of who they are, they seek asylum. So persons that felt, people that have been persecuted politically, they seek asylum.
Okay, now let's take it a bit deeper, and I don't mean deeper is in the sense that
religion people,
where
your religion is not tolerated, countries where there's intolerance against one religion or the other can seek asylum. Countries where where by virtue of your color, they want you go into extinct, you can seek asylum. You can seek asylum on 1001 ground. You can seek asylum because of your principle, what you believe in, and others don't believe in it. You can seek asylum to other countries. Seek protection in other countries. So it's more a declarative statement.
Okay.
When you apply for refugee status, it's declarative in nature. Where you see something happening, people are being killed in Borno, things are happening in the Middle East, in Pakistan. Those ones, the issue of seeking asylum does not even arise. Automatically, they get refugee status.
Okay.
It's declaratory because it's happening live.
We can see it. We all can see it.
So you don't need evidence. It's declarative on its own. There is war and children are being killed. Those children automatically have refugee status. And that's why you have refugee camps where government of the world go there to give them attention, medical attention, food and all they need. At that point, those victims, those persons there have refugee status. That's different from asylum.
Okay, so you're actually eating up on the other question I was about asking in terms of the difference between a refugee and an asylum.
Yeah,
I know you actually wanted to talk on that, but before we go there, I know that people. Is it okay for people to? I know leaving your country, your place of birth. To go to another country seeking for help is not always that cool. I mean, leaving your natural environment and going into another place because of one thing or the other. Of course, when there's need for you to ask for help, you need to ask for help. But some persons, let's talk about the political classes now. In some countries, let me put it that way. Some politicians feel. They are being threatened after leaving the tenure. I mean, you've spent 4 years. Of course, maybe there are some things that are actually happened there. And you have to now go into other countries to seek refuge, to seek help, to seek asylum in those countries. Are there provision for these kind of situations? Like where politicians or people that have influences have to use their influence to, after a little while, okay, I've governed for 6 months, for 4 years, 8 years, and I just felt like, okay, I'm no longer safe because of what I've done during my tenure. Is there any provision? I don't know if you understand. Is there any provision in the receiving country to scrutinize and get to know why are you seeking asylum and stuff like that? Is there any other provision like that?
Like politicians, like these people who call politicians, we call them PEP.
Okay.
Persons exposed to politics.
Okay.
So these persons that are exposed to politics, asylum is not to circumvent the fair law. The law is good.
All right then.
Law is good. Asylum is not to circumvent criminal law.
Okay.
Asylum is not to circumvent criminal litigation process.
Okay.
Asylum is designed to actually protect people that actually need protection.
Protection, okay.
And not to hide a politically exposed persons with dented and stained credentials.
Okay, good.
So when you come under that arrangement, we have other laws. We call the law of extradition. Okay. Where you are a politically exposed person, haven't looted the treasury of your country, you quickly, swiftly move to another country and seek asylum.
For protection, yeah.
Then your own original country will apply to the third party country to have you extradited
back to the country
to answer questions as to your last stewardship.
Okay.
So asylum is not blind and it's not deaf, it's not dumb. Concept of asylum can hear, can listen, can see, and can speak. And that is why when you apply for asylum, you need a lot of evidence.
Beautiful.
And this evidence will be investigated. Your story must resonate with your evidence.
Evidence, yeah.
And it is at that point that you will not be granted an asylum status.
Okay.
But where your story fails to resonate with your evidence, that's when you have a refuse decision. So asylum is not just at the whims of everyone. You must come with your evidence. If you say you are running away, you want protection, the law, the host country, the third party country, we want to know what you are running from. We want to know if what you are running from actually exists. He that asserts that a particular event does occur must prove that such event actually occurs. If you say, okay, you are part of an IPOB or you are an Igboho follower, and you think because you support the agitation for Yoruba nation, or you support the agitation for the emancipation of the Igbos, or you support the agitation for the Ariwa's concept, and you think because of that your stand, the current government want to seize you, the current government passed a law to clamp you down, you are qualified to seek an asylum, because there is nothing wrong in seeking or applying for self-determination in any given country.
Okay.
But where you commit a crime and you manage to escape to somewhere and you seek asylum, there will be due diligence.
Okay.
They will do findings. And when they find out this is what you do, your asylum application will be refused and you'll be thrown out of the system. You are not qualified for asylum. Asylum is genuinely designed to give people a chance where they never had that in their own home country.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now, this question is actually going to birth another question. And the question is, in the case of a refusal of your asylum application, what should the person do?
Yeah. Okay. That is a very dicey question. Asylum application is just like any other immigration application.
Okay.
And the golden rule is the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
The golden rule is refuse all applications.
All applications, yeah.
So I want to just lay emphasis on that when it comes to asylum.
Okay.
Asylum has to do with a story. Your story, your life.
Okay.
What you are going through. The first thing the decision or the caseworker will do is to disbelieve your story. You say, okay, this thing is happening. Oh, I'm a gay. I'm a transgender, whatever you call yourself. I'm suffering from political predators. I'm a victim of trafficking and a lot of that. The first thing a caseworker is trained to do is to disbelieve your story. And where your story is not believed, you have a story presented, they bring you in for interview. After your interview, it can come back funny. What do? It is either you bring in more facts
to support your
evidence to substantiate your claim. When you do that and you're able to convince them, because they are judges, your asylum application may be granted.
Okay.
But where you can't do that, your asylum can fail for lack of evidence. And where it failed for lack of evidence, which is what we call refusal, you can now make an appeal.
Okay.
You can now make an appeal. Just like in other application, you can have things like administrative review,
all right,
which is different. But appeal, you can now bring in further evidence to substantiate your claim for asylum.
Okay.
Then where you make an appeal and the evidence you adduce is believed, at that point, your asylum application may be granted. And where it is not granted at appeal, that is the end of that first process. You cannot make a fresh claim.
Fresh claim after
of asylum. You can make a fresh claim. This time around, add more to what you have, get more facts, get more evidence.
So is that to mean that one can apply for asylum as many times as possible?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now we're wrapping up already anyways. Guys, thank you very much for staying tuned. But the last question I'm going to ask tonight, if this question doesn't birth another one, is now let's talk about the difference between refugees and asylum seekers. There's this myth about if you seek asylum or in a country or refuge in a country, they divert you to another country. How true is that? And what is the difference from the face of the law?
Okay. The word refugee and asylum is often used interchangeably. More often, not all asylum seekers are refugees.
Okay.
Where a person has found himself in UK, either through visit, through other route, and now haven't come to UK, has a place he or she staying, and not sought asylum, such a person is not a refugee. He or she has a house where he lives. Refuge simply means shelter.
Okay.
A house. So some persons are displaced. They don't have a house to stay. But that does not mean they need asylum.
All right.
A refugee does not necessarily mean an asylum seeker. For example, where there is a natural disaster and there is flood, just like you have it in United Arab Emirates now. A lot of their citizens today are without shelter. Many of them are in refuge homes. In fact, we can rightly call them refugee
in their own
because
country.
They've been displaced by a natural disaster.
Yeah.
But certainly they don't need asylum.
Okay.
They are not desirous of protection from the Emirates.
Okay. So obviously a refugee can actually be relocated from one part of the country to the other within the same country.
Yes. You can have a refuge camp in your country because there is a disaster. You can have a refuge camp. So when people come around here, in UK we've got refuge camp, where some persons are homeless, no job, stateless. We've got some number of stateless persons. So who are roaming the streets, sleeping on the street. Such persons can be moved to a refuge camp temporarily.
Okay.
You get it now?
Yeah.
So, and from that refuge camp, some of them can now apply for asylum.
Okay, seek help into going to another country.
So the first stage, where you are in your country and you apply for asylum outside UK. So there has been a proposition that, okay, people seeking asylum from outside the UK, such persons, upon applying, making a claim for asylum, can be moved to a refuge camp in Rwanda.
Okay.
It's a refuge camp where you keep them safe. Just like you say, the Lord is my refuge. I shall not. A place where you will be and feel protected. That's a refugee camp.
Okay.
Where from there, the asylum application, when considered and comes positive, they are moved from the refuge camp to the normal society, where they are able to work, they are able to mix up, and they are able to socialize properly well. So the word refugee and asylum more often is more like it's an intertwined word. But when you look at it, there's a thin fine line in between.
In between the two of them.
In the two of them.
Okay.
That's the way it is.
All right. So that means the refugee camp can actually be, for those who are actually watching from Africa, in Nigeria specifically, that can actually be linked. Which also be something like a place where they keep the internally displaced persons, IDPs, IDP camps and stuff like that. So,
yes.
So obviously for the sake of those people that are actually watching us, thank you very much for that. And you actually got in the information about the difference between a refugee camp, a refugee, and asylum seeker. Mr. Promise, thank you very much once again for this enlightenment, so to say. Also, just to let you know before we go that Journeyman makes your flight very easy.
Ready to embark on unforgettable journeys? Look no further. Introducing Journeyman, your gateway to extraordinary travel experiences. We redefine travel with amazing deals on flights, dream vacations, and visa ticket packages. Why pay more when you can save big? Whether you're a solo adventurer, student, or planning a family getaway, Journeyman has the perfect deal for you. Booking is a breeze. Visit our social media handle or WhatsApp any of the numbers displayed on the screen. to unlock incredible discounts on flights and vacation packages. Journeyman Travels and Tours. Travel more. Spend less. Start your journey today.
I mean, dishing out hot. I mean, if you want something very African in nature, I mean, African guys, come on, let's get to Miyotuka and actually get it all sorted as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Promise.
Yeah.
And to you, viewers at home, I think you have actually been more enlightened about what asylum seeking is all about, and also refugees and all those who are eligible for asylum seeking. If you have any question, don't forget to just drop it on in the comment section. You can as well do yourself the favor, and also by subscribing and turning on the notification button so that you can always get updates when it comes to immigration. And till the next time I come your way, don't forget one thing that I've always said: dreams always do come true. However, you need to set up achievable goals, break them down into objectives. You definitely will achieve them and have the willpower supporting them. My name is KENNIESPARKZ, and stay tuned to Sparks Global. I love you, and I'll see you some other time. Thank you.
Sparks FM.
Repeat the beats.
Sparks FM.
Repeat the beats.
Sparks FM.
Repeat the beats.
Sparks FM.
Repeat the beats.